Hi everyone, it's Bibi Cameron here. Welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be sharing about the new Blue Blossom color trend by Tonic Studios. This collection includes several products from the Nuvo range and also paper and embellishments. So all the beautiful products you see there on my table are from this release, and I made also a couple of projects to show you the products in action. With these products, you will be able to add color and texture to backgrounds, to fully color images, to hit emboss banners for your cards or also the background. And before starting, let me show you what is included in this color trend. So you will get Nuvo Mica Mist, Nuvo Drops, Nuvo Glimmer Paste, you will get Nuvo Aquaflow paints and inks, a new color of Nuvo Shimmer Powder, confetti, glitter, also glitter accents, Nuvo embossing powders, Nuvo embellishment mousse, a new Nuvo glitter marker color, of course alcohol markers. So you get a bundle of solutions for your paper craft projects. So I got here watercolor paper, and this is Peony Bloom stamp set. I'm going to use this stamp here to stamp these flowers. I want to show you the colors, and I also want to share with you a couple of techniques and many simple tips that will help you to easily create using these products. So the first thing is the ink I'm going to use to stamp the image. I'm going to use here Nuvo Hybrid ink, but you can use any waterproof ink. And this is because I'm going to be using water-based products. This Nuvo Hybrid ink is amazing to work with water-based products and also with alcohol markers. There are many inks in the market that I also love and adore, but I'm going to use this one here just to show you how all the Nuvo range products work together. So here I was placing there a little piece of paper to avoid getting the end of the stamped image there, because I want to elongate that stamp. So I'm going to use here Aqua Flow paints. These are watercolors inside a pen, and the most I use them, the most I like them. I already applied colors to those flowers, but I'm going to show you here how super easy it is to apply colors to this flower here. I'm also going to use this other Aqua Flow pen and a Nuvo Aqua brush, which is this one here, and before starting I'm going to heat set the ink. So I'm going to start by applying this color of Nuvo Aquaflow pen, and what I'm going to do is to apply the color on the base of each petal. It doesn't matter if I go out of the line or whatever. I'm just laying there a little bit of that color, and I'm waiting for the paper to absorb that color in that area there. Once that happens, I'm going to grab my Nuvo Aqua brush and I'm going to drag the color towards the top of the petal. I really want the color at the top of the petal really light. So this is where it's going to give me that degradation of color, and it's going to create a nice watercolor effect. And it's key to keep the tip of the aqua brush clean. So I'm making sure that I'm laying there clear water to blend that pigment. So you see there, super easy. So this is the first wash. I just lay a little bit of the color and I spread the color using the water brush. And I'm going to do exactly the same, but this time I'm going to use the other Nuvo Aquaflow pen in this new color trend. And I thought this will be good for shadowing and to add some contrast to this flower. So I'm going to do exactly the same. I lay down a little bit of the pigment just on the base of the petals, and then I'm going to use a water brush to blend the color. And I'm applying a technique called wet on dry. So I started applying the pigments when the paper was totally dry, and then I spread the color with the water brush, and then I allow the paper to dry, and then I apply another layer of color, and I keep doing the same. Another thing I like to do is to add yellow to my flowers. So I just use a Nuvo Aquaflow pen, which is a yellow color, and I'm going to add a little bit of color here, there. And you can see the blendability of these pens. The color just blend nice, even when I'm doing something really loose and simple. There's nothing complicated about this. And I use this microfine tip pen to elongate that stem. And when I apply the Nuvo Aquaflow pen on it, the ink start bleeding. Doesn't matter really. You will see that it's not important. Even if you go out of the lines in this specific uh, image here, you will be able to get away with that because I'm going to completely fussy cut this flower. So it's not really important. I was like, oh my goodness. This only happens when I'm filming a video because I'm not totally focused on my coloring and I'm stand up and I like to color when I'm sitting down. It's very hard. So okay, I'm blending colors here and it's very important, and actually I think that it's very cool that it happens to me here because you can see what happens when you use a non-waterproof ink. However, if this happens to you, you might be able to fix it. Watercolors is a medium that really forgive mistakes. You can just go over or lift the color or do things like that. And of course, this also depends on the kind of paper you are using and the kind of ink you use to stamp or to draw your images. And sometimes you might not be able to fix it, so that might not be ideal. So use waterproof inks with water-based products. I'm going to use here a black watercolor pencil. I like to do this very often, so I just lay down a little bit of that pencil there, and then with a water brush I spread the color. It might look quite scary when you use black. When you see this from above, visually it's really nice. So I'm just trying to clean that brush and then trying to spread that color a little bit more so it doesn't look so intense. And that's it. I'm not oversaturating the paper with water. I'm working with very little water and I don't need to use tape around the paper. The paper didn't warp, as you can see there. And now I'm going to use scissors to cut this flower. This is very easy. It's a very simple shape. It's nothing complicated. But there is something here I want to share with you. I'm going to use a punch to punch a little hole in this area here to be able to insert the snips there and to cut that little part that is just like in the middle of those tiny leaves. So there you go. This is the way I add color to these flowers using the two Aqua Flow pens from the Blue Blossom color trend, plus a couple of extra colors from the Aqua Flow range. So now I'm going to use water in this beautiful navy blue Aqua Flow pen from this collection. And this can be applied directly on the paper, but I'm not going to do that. You might need to squeeze the pen and you might need to use a lot of ink, and that's not necessary. I'm going to grab this makeup brush, going to dab it in water, and I can just kind of spread that color on the paper like so. And you can go as intense as you want, and as you go towards the other end of the paper and apply water, you will get that color degradation that we all love. You can come back using a brush or the same makeup brush or a sponge. You can use anything you have to do this. And I'm going to apply more pigment because I want this to be a little bit more saturated. So all I do there is to apply colors until I'm happy with the way this piece of paper looks. So I can spend there maybe 5 minutes trying to do this, and I definitely like more the way that this looks if I use the makeup brush. It's super easy to do, and if you have any other kind of water-based products, you can do the same using the makeup brush or sponges. This time I apply a lot of water on the paper, so when using the heat tool to dry the paper is warping a lot. But it doesn't matter, I can bend the paper and put something heavy on the paper so it will lay flat again. I'm spraying water here and I'm going to lift a little bit of this color just to add a very subtle distressed look to the background. If you want a more intense color, these speckles will be more noticeable. And now I'm going to use this Mica Mist spray. I'm going to use this blue color here. I'm going to check the bottle very well and I'm going to spread on the paper. This will add shimmer and also that beautiful color. You can use it with stencils, but I just wanted to add a little bit something to the background. I'm going to clean my mat here and I dip this nozzle in water. I'm going to show you the tip to avoid having a headache with these bottles. It's so simple. Just wash the nozzle, put the nozzle inside water, spray there like that, clean the nozzle because this product has a lot of mica. So what you have to do is to make sure that there is no product in the tube, and when you press down the nozzle, the water is coming crystal clear. It's hard to show here on my craft table, but if you do this in the kitchen and do it straight away, don't allow the product to dry, okay? Dry your nozzle, put it back in the bottle, and keep the bottle laying down or maybe facing down so the mica doesn't stay on the tube. That's all you have to do. Next time you use this, you're not going to have the headache that the nozzle is blocked. So that's a tip I wanted to share with you, and the paper will have that shimmer and also those beautiful blue speckles in the texture. It's very beautiful in flesh. Okay, so now I want to show you the embossing powders. We have two beautiful new embossing powders colors, and look at that, they coordinate with this. Aren't these products beautiful? Okay, so I want to show you the embossing powders in action. Just a brief demonstration of this because the sky is the limit. You can stay crafting for hours with this stuff. So I'm going to use Nuvo clear ink and I spread on the paper an anti-static powder. So when I apply the embossing powder, it's going to stick only over the sticky ink and not all over the paper. So I'm going to stamp this 3 times. I really like to do that. I always stamp everything 3 times, and I'm going to sprinkle the embossing powder over that stamped image. So I just get the silhouettes there. I'm going to heat emboss this. Of course, I'm going to put the product in the bottle again, and I'm going just to heat emboss this. These embossing powders are made out of plastic, so they are waterproof. They do not crack if you bend the paper, and they offer that beautiful glossy look and feel to your paper craft projects. So there you go. This is how this embossing powder looks. And now I'm going to die cut this panel. And you know, I wanted to use as many products from this collection as possible, but you might need a mastermind to be able to put all those products in a project. So I made 2 projects, and even making 2 projects I didn't manage to use them all. But I hope this video offered you a good idea about the colors included in the Blue Blossom Trend collection by Tonic Studios, and also the different supplies and how you can use them. And to finish this card panel here, I'm adding a little twine in a bow, and I'm adhering this also using Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. And I recently got the new card blanks and envelopes by Tonic Studios. They come in different sizes and in 2 different colors, so you get bright white. And actually these envelopes here and these card blanks are perfect for my panel today, so I'm going to use this one here. If you see the size there and the colors as well, so there is in white and ivory, and you get them in 4 different sizes. This is 300 grams cardstock. It's just beautiful. It's a smooth cardstock, and I was very surprised because I was asking for this for so long, and they have 7 by 7 inches card blanks, and they are gigantastic. I know many people in Europe love to make big cards, so now they got the large format card blanks and envelopes. I'm going to use the small ones. I really love small projects. I'm going to use a piece of craft foam just to add dimension behind that panel. In doing this, we have to be patient because the foam doesn't stick to the cardstock has another piece of cardstock. We have to make sure that all the sides of the panel are in place, and that's it. And I'm going to heat emboss a banner. I just wanted to show you how this pink embossing powder looks on dark cardstock. This is not super fine embossing powder, but it works nice even in this sentiment that has very small letters and also has very thin lines. So I'm going to heat this up and you will be able to see how beautiful this looks. So when the glue has dried, all I have to do is to stick the banner. This banner looks quite big, so I stamp another one and I'm just going to adhere it using double-sided foam. I like to use a microfine tip marker to add little dots to the flowers, and I'm also going to use this confetti in sequence to decorate this card. And I also apply Nuvo shimmer pen on the flowers and I splatter this shimmer on the background as well. And to finish, I just add a Nuvo drop in the center of the sequence and this card is done. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about paper. I found that Tonic Studios offer ultra smooth white cardstock, which is this one here, and they also offer this other ultra smooth card that says smooth texture card. So these are two different cardstock qualities. The packaging is different and they also behave different. I found the ultra smooth white super cool to work with alcohol markers, but I'm going to use here the texture one. And the difference is that this has a little bit of texture. It's more rough. It feels different to the touch. So I got here the 3 new shades of colors in the Blue Blossom Color Trend collection. I'm going to apply the colors from dark to light. This is going to allow us to save ink and time. So I'm going to apply this on the base of the petals or wherever I want the image to be darker. And then I'm going to use the second color or the medium color, which is very close to that one. I'm just going to apply it all over that area and a little bit towards the center of the petals. And to finish, I'm going to use the lighter color and I'm going to go all over the petal, blending the ink. I don't need to apply a lot of ink and I'm going to keep this very simple. Once I finish doing this, if I feel that I need to, I'm going to use the darker shade in this color pack and I'm going to go over some areas I want to darken because I feel that the color in this stage is looking very even and I want more contrast. But that's me, that's my taste. You know, you can do it differently. But the important thing here is to show you the pen's blendability. For the next flower, I decided to add colors to the whole petal using one single marker. So I'm not doing any blending in this stage. So this is something you can do as well, kind of playing with the colors in that way. And then you can also add or layer shadows and start playing with other tools if you want. I also wanted to show you the performance of this paper using Nuvo Aqua Flows. And this is very interesting. It's because normally when you apply water-based products on a smooth cardstock, the pigments tend to stain the paper and they do not move anywhere. But you see there, I'm applying the Nuvo Aqua Flow, for example, there, here and there, and then I use the aqua brush to spread the color and this is working. So I was like, what? I was doing this yesterday in the evening because I really like to taste the products before showing you anything. Even when I had been trying Aquaflow pens for over 2 years, 3 years, and Nuvo alcohol markers for the same time, you always learn different things and the inks perform different when using different paper. So I was tasting this paper here and I was observing how these pens blend on the paper. So I apply a yellow layer of color there and then I'm going to use this blue marker to see how this green shade is going to turn out. I noticed that when using the smooth white cardstock, the green is going to be a little bit more bright and this one here is a little bit more subtle and more opaque. So this one here is a smooth texture. The other paper I mean is a smooth white. Both of them are from Tonic Studios. I like more the smooth white to work with alcohol markers, but this one works just fine as well. Plus, it seems to perform really well with water-based products, so that's a win. So I keep blending this, and I also use this gray alcohol marker to add some shadows. And while in the smooth white cardstock you will be able to see those shadows, in this paper is a little bit more soft and subtle the result. So I'm also using a blender pen to get rid of the stain of color on the paper, and you see that that color totally vanished. And I applied some dots using a microfine tip pen, and I didn't allow the ink to dry, and I just apply shimmer on it so it bleed a little bit. So to try to cover that up, I'm going to use this glitter pen that is actually also water based. So if I apply any water on top, it's going to bleed as well. All I have to do is to press that nib on the lid or on a surface to make the ink flow in the tip, and then I can just apply colors. You can also apply this color like so and use a water brush to blend the color. I also wanted to show you the Nuvo embellishment mousse color, and also a tip to keep this fresh and nice. So I just grabbed the spatula, but I should grab the blender tool to do this, because the blender tool also offers a quick application. Actually, the spatula is to use with the glimmer paste and also the glacier paste. Not for this, but I just wanted to use it. Anyway, so I'm going to show you my tip to keep the Nuvo mousses fresh. Use foil, just like that, and close the lid of the Nuvo container really tight. And if you see there, I do not peel off the protector that comes in the packaging. I just leave it there. So we need to make sure that that container is perfectly sealed. So here I'm using the blending tool that makes the Nuvo Mousse application a joy, and it's super easy to do. So once I finish doing this, I can remove the stencil and I can enjoy that beautiful pattern. Once the Nuvo Mousse is dry, I'm going to adhere the panel on a card base. I'm going to embellish with Nuvo drops, and I'm going to add a banner. And because you have been so good and you watched the whole video, I want to share with you a little giveaway. And I'm giving away this beautiful Peony Bloom stamp set. For your chance to win, leave a comment below this video, and it will be fantastic if you can support this channel by subscribing. I will choose a winner next Saturday, September 21st, and I'm going to get in touch with that person to deliver the prize. Thank you very much for watching, and happy crafting. Bye!